The first thing Princess Valera learned about humans was that they lied badly, smiled politely, and kept secrets as if secrets were warm things held close against the ribs. The second thing she learned was that one human, Librarian Elias Rowe, had already read the exact hour of her death. He was not supposed to matter in the Sapphire Archive. Humans had only joined the Celestial Concord 40 years ago, too young for noble houses, too blunt for palace etiquette, too stubborn to understand fear. Yet every morning before the twin suns rose over Aramith, Elias walked between memory shelves older than his species, carrying tea in one hand and forbidden knowledge in the other. Valera noticed him because he never bowed deeply, never admired her crown, never trembled when ministers passed. He looked at books as if books were witnesses, and looked at people as if they were unfinished stories. Then one night, when she asked for a children's atlas, Elias dropped a silver data folio. The restricted seal flashed red across the floor, and the title burned between them. File Lumina 7, Subject Valera Orain's Soul. Termination event confirmed. The archive went silent. Even the brass owls stopped turning. Elias snatched the folio. But Valera had already seen enough. Her future was not a coronation, not a treaty, not a marriage alliance. It was a sealed chamber beneath the palace. 3 ministers wearing mourning white, a false Carthian attack, and a blade made of collapsed starlight. She did not scream. Royal daughters were trained not to spend breath on panic. She only said, "How long have you known?" Elias glanced at the lenses hidden in the walls. "Long enough to know we should not talk here," he said. And that was when the princess understood the librarian was not afraid for himself. He led her through corridors that did not appear on palace maps, past sleeping cleaning drones, into the forgotten human annex, a room full of paper books. Real paper, fragile, yellow, absurd. Elias locked the door with a kettle spoon, then opened the forbidden file on a wooden table. Inside was not prophecy, it was planning, surveillance routes, obedience codes, bribed commanders, falsified border attacks, assassination timings, ministerial signatures. Every secret stacked like knives. "Your council will kill you in 9 days," Elias said. "Then they will blame Karth, crown an emergency regent, and turn the empire into a war machine." Valera stared at the pages. "Why store this in the archive?" Elias gave a tired smile. "Because tyrants trust systems more than people, and because they thought a human librarian would never understand imperial encryption." Here was the third thing Valera learned about humans. They turned insults into tools. Elias had not merely read the file. He had copied it, translated it, annotated it, followed every payment, every weapon shipment, every quiet change in the guard roster. He had built a rebellion in the margins, not with armies, but with footnotes. Valera wanted to hate him for knowing the shape of her death before she did, but his hands were shaking, not from fear, from restraint. "I tried to warn your mother," he said, her channel redirected to Minister Othran. "I tried the guard. Half the commanders are bought. I tried to reach you sooner, but you were surrounded by assassins, dressed as servants and cousins dressed as friends. Then the lights cut out. The emergency lamps burned red. The annex door buckled inward. Elias pulled her behind a wall of paper books, primitive and flammable. Yet the assassin drones glided past without scanning it. Their sensors ignored cellulose as irrelevant clutter, human clutter, obsolete clutter. Valera almost laughed because the most advanced murder machines in the Empire had been defeated by literature, Elias whispered. Humans learned early that old things survive because arrogant people stopped checking them. Then he opened a floor hatch beneath a faded map of Earth. Valera climbed down, gown tearing, crown scraping sparks from the ladder above her. Elias stayed behind and stacked books around the hatch. "Come," she hissed. "That is an order," he smiled. "Calm as winter, princess. I am a librarian." "Not a subject?" Then he set the archive on fire. The blaze roared like a newborn sun. Smoke swallowed the drones. and Elias dropped through the hatch one breath before molten glass rained after him. The shaft opened into the Undercity where something impossible waited. Not soldiers, not nobles, but cooks, janitors, pilots, teachers, mechanics, dock workers. Ordinary people holding stolen pulse rifles and wearing library badges. An elderly human woman with one cybernetic eye bowed slightly and said, "Your Highness, we are the overdue books." That was when Valera realized Elias had recruited everyone the Empire never bothered to notice. For 9 days the future fought back. Valera vanished while holograms walked in her place. False orders lured traitor guards into empty halls. Kitchen staff slipped sleep venom into conspirators' wine. Archived children smuggled evidence inside him scrolls. And Elias moved through chaos with the patient fury of a man reshelving a storm. Valera watched humans argue, improvise, fail, recover, apologize, then try again harder. They had no elegance. No ancient destiny carved into comet stone, but they had something sharper than prophecy, refusal on the 9th day. The ministers gathered in the sealed chamber beneath the palace, expecting a frightened princess delivered by loyal guards. Instead, the doors opened and Valera entered wearing no crown. Only a smoke-stained library badge over her heart. Behind her came Elias. Behind Elias came the forbidden file. Broadcast live across 9 systems. Every signature exposed. Every murder route revealed. Every planned war crime spoken aloud in the conspirators' own voices. Minister Othron reached for the collapsed starlight blade. Elias threw a book at his head. It was not graceful, not noble, not how legends said evil should fall. But the book was heavy, earth-made, and extremely well-aimed. Othron staggered. Valera disarmed him, and billions watched a human librarian knock down a coup with agricultural history. Later, when traitors waited in orbital cells, Valera found Elias brushing ash from a ruined shelf. "Why risk everything for me?" she asked. Elias considered it like a cataloging problem because "I read the file," he said. "And it said your death was inevitable." Then he shrugged. Humans dislike that word, years later. Empress Valera opened forbidden archives across 100 worlds. And historians called it the beginning of the human century, not because humans conquered, but because one stubborn librarian read the ending and decided the author was wrong,